what I found in my best friend's wedding book. Before we begin the story, make sure to subscribe to our channel and never miss more incredible stories every day. I flipped the cloth cover of Maya's wedding guest book and a strip of thermal paper falls out like a tongue of fire. Date stamped last night, 1:12 a.m. from Crown and Elm Motel. Room paid in cash, signature C. Rowe. Cole's initials. My name is Jess, 29, man of honor because Maya and I were the kids who survived cafeteria wars and finals week together. I ironed her debate blazers, and she once drove 3 hours at midnight to pick me up from a broken-down bus. Today I keep schedules on my phone like prayer beads and say yes to anything Quinn the planner asks. I am the ballast, the buffer, the person who knows where the stain remover pens live. I'd die before I ruin this for her. But the paper is in my hand. Its edges heat-warped, its ink confident. Outside the window, the city is waking up to the kind of crisp blue that makes weddings look like magazine spreads. Inside, the sweet smells like hairspray and roses and the tart anxiety of citrus water. I want to believe there's a boring explanation. Crown and Elm is 2 exits from the venue, the kind of place with buzzing lights and free coffee. Maybe Cole mispaid for a room block. Maybe C. Rowe is someone's aunt. But there's also the Polaroid tucked between pages. Maya laughing last night. Champagne flute high. Time-stamped 11:46 p.m. And in the corner of the photo, a man's wrist with a black braided bracelet I've only ever seen on Cole. He swore he'd be home by 10 to center, eat his color-coded proteins, and sleep. He kissed Maya's forehead and called me quarterback with that easy smile voice he uses in groups. All sheen, no seams. The receipt says 1 hour after midnight. The bracelet catches the light like it knows me. And between congratulations and doodled hearts, there's a note on page 6. Can't wait for next Sunday, same room. In handwriting that tilts sharp, signed with 2 slashed initials, R.M. I slide the door bolt. I whisper, no, not today. Then my phone lights with Maya's text. You with the book? Renee says Cole is already at the venue. Renee, the college ex who became a shadow at events, now a friend. My heart trips, then stumbles, as my fingers turn the page and something heavier than paper thuds against the table edge. The book just coughed up a keycard envelope with Crown and Elm printed blue. Maya and I built our friendship on the kind of tiny oaths you only make when you're young and starving. If one of us makes it, the other eats too. We survived freshman housing roulette, her dad's noisy divorce, my apartment flood that smelled like coin-operated dryers and mildew. When Cole arrived, he arrived with systems, spreadsheets for holidays, recipes measured to grams, the kind of hug you feel like you have to earn. Structure helps love breathe, he told Maya, and I nodded because she looked relieved to have someone else carry the calendar. He never forgot birthdays. He never forgot to remind her to drink water. He never forgot to mention how much he didn't forget. But chips appeared. He corrected her grammar mid-sentence, joking in a tone that wasn't joking. He pulled me aside once, hand light on my shoulder, and said, "You're important to her, Jess. Let's just keep big emotions away from big days." I laughed it off then, but last week at the tasting he moved her wine glass 2 inches left and said, "You get clumsy when you're hungry," like he'd discovered her body before she had. The cutting remark I can't shake came 2 nights ago, after the welcome drinks, when he told a table of Maya's cousins, "Jess is the drama department. I'm facilities management," and tapped his glass like a punchline. Everyone laughed. Maya apologized with her eyes. Planning was a machine with places to be crushed. Quinn, the planner, ran it with kind eyes and a whistle under breath. I watched Maya grow smaller inside the timeline. Still, we practiced vows on the porch at midnight, bare feet, and I believed again because her hands trembled with joy, not fear. I won't be the person who ruins that. There's also a sticky note folded to the size of a postage stamp, stuck to the card sleeve. On it, 3 items: ginger ale, do not disturb, and a tiny drawn star. The star is how Maya marks her favorite things. My fingers go cold at the wrongness of that mark in the wrong place. Inside is a room number written with the same sharp tilt handwriting, 214, underlined twice. At first I tell myself to breathe and to catalog, not catastrophize. Guests will start arriving in an hour. The florist's van already clattered over the gravel drive. Hydrangea clouds drifted past the window like weather. I set the guest book on the vanity, open a fresh page, and try to return to handwriting shepherd, ink shepherd, the quiet job the man of honor does so the day feels threaded together. But the Polaroid timestamp won't stop blinking in my brain like an alarm clock. 11:46 p.m. Maya laughing, bracelet gleaming in the corner like a witness. I flip back to the entry that started my nausea. Can't wait for next Sunday. Same room. The initials are M. Itch. Renee Mallory. I hear her laugh down the hall right then. Low, knowing, followed by Cole's cleaned up, performative chuckle. I could be inventing this. I could be making patterns from noise. The book isn't just a book. It's a vessel for all the days it took to reach this one. Someone used it like a pocket. I slide my hand along the back cover lining and feel a ridge. My thumbnail catches thread. When I pull, a neat seam opens to a hidden sleeve. Out slides a square of paper folded twice, soft with handling. It's a receipt from Crown and Elm again. 2 nights ago, 9:32 p.m. Minibar restock. Ginger ale, protein bar, 2 waters. Charged to $214, signed R. Mallory. Renee told everyone she was crashing with cousins on the east side. My brain refuses it, then accepts it like ice water poured down my back. Maya pops her head in, robe tied in a bow, eyes bright. Tell me the vows won't make me ugly cry, she says. I pin the receipts beneath the guest book spine like a snake. You'll cry the good kind, I answer. She squeezes my hand, searching my face. You okay, Jess? Just the good nerves. I lie, and send her toward Quinn's boutonniere triage before my voice betrays me. When the room is quiet again, I line up 2 Polaroids. Cole fake crying at 10:18 p.m. Maya laughing at 11:46. In both, his black braided bracelet glints. In the second, a hotel lamp with the Crown and Elm logo reflects in a catering truck window. Metadata might save me. Quinn said the photographer's cloud keeps timestamps and GPS. Rehearsal had already tasted sour, and now the aftertaste returns. Yesterday, Quinn's immaculate binder, tabs like little flags, was missing the vendor payments page. Probably misfiled, Cole said, snapping the binder shut with a smile that showed all his teeth. He'd arrived late, blaming traffic. While Renee floated in early with a garment bag, she said held a shawl for Maya, in case she gets chilled. When Maya was out of earshot, Renee touched my arm and murmured, "Big days make people paranoid. Try not to bite." I had swallowed the metallic rush in my mouth and asked Quinn for copies of the payment schedule. She promised to email me, then gave me a look like, "Not today." Now, in the bridal suite, my phone buzzes with a text from an unknown number, a voicemail transcription that reads, "Room 214 is clean, extra towels delivered. See you tomorrow night." My stomach drops so fast I sit. The timestamp is 7:07 a.m. today. Who schedules tomorrow night before the vows are even said? From the hall, I hear Cole tell someone, "We're not moving the schedule again. Quinn can deal." Then a hushed call. Same as last time. I step toward the door and freeze as footsteps stop outside. The knob jiggles, then stills. A beat later, laughter recedes. Outside by the lemon trees yesterday, Aunt Lila had said, "Lo, you know truth from superstition. If you've got something real, you bring it to the right place, not the loudest place." I nodded like I had nothing but a weather forecast. Today, the forecast is sirens. I open my browser and log into the photographer's portal with the code Quinn texted last week for the slideshow preview. The gallery loads slow on hotel Wi-Fi, thumbnails blooming one by one. I sort by recent and tap the rehearsal album. Each image carries EXIF data in a sidebar. My thumb schemes over GPS coordinates and shutter speeds until a location tag repeats. Crown and Elm, stamped next to a candid of Cole laughing by the catering truck at 12:58 a.m. The candid isn't from the venue. It's from the motel parking lot. The reflective logo in the pole-mounted lamp matches perfectly. My skin prickles. I switch to the uploads from guests folder, and there it is. A blurred selfie Renee posted to the shared link at 1:15 a.m., captioned only with a star emoji. Behind her shoulder, a striped motel bedspread lurks like a watermark. Maya's laugh floats closer as the gallery reveals one last incriminating frame. By noon, the venue feels like a beehive, and I'm the one bee flying the wrong pattern. People keep pressing flower pins into my hands and gossip into my ears. Renee knows everyone. Someone says. Cole's speech is going to kill. Someone else says, and I think of the motel lamp and might actually be sick. When I try to pull Quinn aside, she's triaging a linen shortage like a battlefield nurse. After first look, she whispers. Not now. I catch Renee by the water pitchers, her lipstick the color of pomegranates. Cute star last night, I say, casual as I can. Her eyes flick to my hands, to the book I've been cradling like a relic. You trolling captions now, she says, laughing. You always were territorial. She leans in, breath sweet. Maya doesn't need your drama queen energy today, babe. She pats my shoulder like I'm a lapdog. I find Maya in the bridal suite, smoothing a wrinkle that only she can see. Everyone's here, she says, trying for lightness. Jess, promise me this. If you see anything chaotic, you buffer it. Don't let me spiral. Her trust hurts me worse than any insult. I nod, words caught behind my teeth like fish bones. Friends close ranks. In our group chat, someone writes, can we keep Jess away from Renee? It's giving high school. The message pings my pocket while I'm unpacking emergency kits. Aunt Lila slips in, shuts the door, and studies my face. You're far away, she says. I show her the keycard sleeve, the receipts, the blurred selfie. She doesn't gasp. She just presses a hand to my wrist until my heart rate comes down. If it's real, it won't stop being real, she says. Choose the right witness and the right moment. Mercy doesn't mean silence. I press my forehead to the cool glass of the window and watch Cole cross the courtyard toward the groom's room, phone glued to his ear. I promise myself I will not be the reason Maya learns this from a stranger. I turn to leave and nearly collide with Cole blocking the doorway, smiling too hard. Cole fills the doorway like he owns daylight. How's my quarterback? He asks, eyes flicking to the guest book. We good on signatures? I angle the cover closed with one palm and find my smile. You're on schedule, I say. His voice drops, friendly for microphones. Keep it that way. Maya spirals when things feel messy. The word lands like a glove slap. He reaches past me and taps the book's ribbon. Cute tradition, he says, and leaves a half second too slow, like he's confirming something didn't fall out. When he drifts away, I exhale and peel the linen again, looking for what my hands felt earlier, a ridge where a book shouldn't breathe. Under the back cover, stitched into the cardboard, is a tiny oval sticker printed with a pattern of squares like a crossword. Not a pattern, a QR code, matte, almost invisible under the fabric's weave. Who hides a QR code in a wedding guest book? The adhesive peels like skin. I press it flat on the vanity, open my camera, and hover. My phone hesitates, then pings. Voice memo, 042 to 12:59 a.m. The preview text reads, do not say his name. Meet at 2:14. Cash only. The file lives on a public cloud drive. No password, just hubris. I glance to the hall. Laughter and clinking. Renee's pomegranate voice, someone's toast rehearsal. I put the phone to my ear and listen to mix of hallway noise and a woman whispering. Hotel says no cards. Put it in the book. He'll find it. Another voice, a man with a smile you can hear. Same routine. This is the last time. A door latch clicks, footsteps, a soft, delighted laugh I don't recognize. The timestamp tells me this happened while Maya's good night text still glowed on our screens. My knees go watery with the geometry of it. The receipts, the Polaroids, the QR, the initials. Patterns stop being superstition when they agree on coordinates. I copy the file to my drive, set it to private, then airdrop it to Aunt Lila's phone the moment she slips in for bobby pins. She listens, chin tilted, eyes steely. Not the loudest place, she says quietly. The right place. I press my thumb against the keycard sleeve and feel the faint outline of a second, thinner card taped behind it like a decoy, an old habit from people who intend repeats. The QR code opens, and a woman whispers, Room 214. I make myself small and useful as a fox. Pin corsages, redirect drunk uncles. Keep the book moving so I can keep touching it. Every time someone signs, congratulations. I flip 2 pages and photograph the hidden sleeve seam, the receipts tucked like contraband. Between bursts of logistics, I duck into the vendor hall. The venue manager, shoulders squared from 1,000 near disasters, agrees to check last night's external door log. No names, but timestamps for the loading bay. You didn't get this from me, they say, and print a thin slip. 12:47 a.m. Door opened. 1:41 a.m. Door opened. Both badged guest access service. The photographer's cloud becomes my second brain. EXIF data spoon feeds me coordinates like crumbs dropped by a guilty bird. Cole's final sweep selfie with his groomsmen. Taken not at the venue, but 74 meters from Crown and Elm's lobby. Streetlight temperature on the metadata, a perfect match to the motel lot. I cross-check with the florist's delivery emails in Maya's planner inbox. She asked me to proofread months ago. I still have access. A substitution notice at 8:05 p.m. Last night from the florist's assistant apologizes for late peonies. Traffic near Crown and Elm was wild. Why would she be near the motel unless someone summoned her there? I keep my questions in my mouth like coins. Renee breezes past, phone to ear. He promised, she says to someone. Today changes everything. My spine plays a cold scale. In the prep room, I find the planner's assistant. Eyes kind, hands full of safety pins, and ask whether any payments went in cash. She nods carefully. Groom asked to settle the extra bar hour off the books, she says. Said it looks cleaner for taxes. She meant harmless, I think. I hear hungry. Back at the vanity, I flip to the page where the sticky star note hid. There's a signature 3 lines down that isn't a guest. It's Maya's name, neat and looping, dated last Sunday, written in a blue gel pen she doesn't use. Under it, the same sharp tilt hand added approved. My chest tightens with the understanding that something is using her name like a crow uses shiny things. Someone else has been using Maya's signature, and it's perfect. I stop guessing and start naming what I can prove. At 9:32 p.m. 2 nights ago, room 214 at Crown and Elm restocked ginger ale and water under Renee Mallory's signature. At 12:59 a.m., a whispered memo referenced 214, cash, and discretion. At 1:12 a.m., a room was paid in cash by C. Rowe. At 12:58 a.m., a candid caught Cole under the motel lamp, bracelet glinting like a calling card. Yesterday, Quinn's binder page with vendor payments went missing. Today, a door log says someone used the service entrance twice in the middle of the night. These are not vibes. These are coordinates. I push my luck and call Crown and Elm under the softest voice I own. Hi. My partner thinks he left a silver bracelet in 214. I say, we checked out early today. The clerk, bored or kind, says, housekeeping found one last night. Front desk logged it. Under whose name? I ask. We tag items by room. They answer, and I know I've asked one question too many. I reopen the QR memo, and this time catch a scrap at the end I missed before. Put the signed approval in the book. He'll need it. I reskin page 6. The fake Maya signature sits above a note. Approved. Cash vendor extension. It's not only cheating. It's paperwork forged to authorize cash that never touched the official bar invoice. If the venue audits later, Maya's approval anchors the gap. In my head, I see the worst version. A deadline binding her to someone else's secret. I haven't touched motive, but the shape looks like control through compromise. I print to PDF everything I can. Voicemail, EXIF screenshots, logs, receipts, fake signature. I lock it in a folder I title for Maya, if needed, and put my own face in my hands for 3 breaths. Renee invoices Cole for silence, and the memo line says custody. When I look up, the clock has murdered the buffer time. The officiant is doing sound check, the quartet is tuning, and Maya is asking where her grandmother's cameo pin went. I fasten it to her bouquet ribbon and see her eyes soften. She doesn't know a fuse is burning under her day. I could smother it. Let the reception happen. Let the legal bits lock in while I convince myself it's Kinder. But I keep seeing that forged loop of her name. The way it makes her complicit without consent. Mercy to the wrong person becomes harm. I step into the corridor and text Aunt Lila the private folder link with a single line. Truth kit. I take photos of every page and hide the real receipts in my garment bag liner. Then I walk to the venue office and ask the manager for 5 minutes. We need a neutral witness, I say, and show the door log times. They swallow once and nod. I can be present if someone asks me. They say carefully. Not before. Plan A. Pull Cole into a quiet room before the license signing. Present the proof. Give him a binary. Call it off clean, or I go public to protect her legal footing. Plan B. If he stonewalls or retaliates, pause the license signing in front of the officiant and manager, cite the forged approval and the cash payments, and protect Maya from signing a document that ties her to potential fraud. It's brutal. It's better than letting her unknowingly co-sign the rest of her 20s to someone else's compulsion. On my way back, I pass Renee, who is laughing into a mirror and practicing a non-existent toast. Her reflection catches mine. "Don't be late to your own performance, Jess," she says, and her smile doesn't reach her eyes. She thinks I'm bluffing. Maybe part of me is. I find Maya, kiss her temple, and say, "If anything feels wrong, I will stop time for you." She's trembling. "Nothing's wrong," she says, which is exactly what people say when everything's a little wrong and they need it to be over. I text Aunt Lila one word, "Witness." She replies, "Ready." I make it 3 steps toward the groom's room before Cole intercepts like a linebacker with a smile. "Big day," he says, steering me toward a side corridor where the light stutters. "Heard you're worried about linens?" Or, "What is it today, feelings?" He says feelings like chewing gum losing flavor. I steady my voice. "We need to talk before the license." He leans, confiding, "I love that you care, but this isn't your marriage." I hear it then, the tiny click of a voice memo on his phone in his jacket pocket. "Recording. I found a receipt," I say, "from Crown and Elm." His face doesn't flinch. He's a professional at pretending. "We had a last-minute vendor hiccup," he says smoothly. "Renee helped. You know, because she's not territorial about titles." "There's also a voicemail," I say, "and a forged approval under Maya's name." He tilts his head. "Or a misunderstanding. Which story do you want to tell at her wedding, Jess? The one where you're jealous? Or the one where you're stable?" My stomach sours. I picture the way the group chat said, "Keep Jess away." I picture my own worst fear, being the friend who makes everything about myself. Aunt Lila steps from the shadow by a ficus like a conjured boundary. "Young man," she says, gentle as a warning bell. "If this is a misunderstanding, we can resolve it with witnesses and documents. If it's not, the kindest thing you can do is press pause." Cole glances from her to me, recalculating, thumb brushing his jacket pocket where his phone listens. "Imagine," he says softly to me, "Maya missing her grandmother's first dance because you love a detective story." The image stabs. I sway. Aunt Lila's hand finds mine. "Sacrifice your reputation if you must," she murmurs. "Not her future." I nod, the decision settling like a stone in still water. Cole watches the set of my shoulders change and decides to try one more angle. He smiles with all his teeth, pockets the recording, and says, "By the way, thanks for returning my bracelet." Cole smiles, and I realize he recorded our entire conversation already. I pivot to logistics, the only religion I trust. The officiant is in the library signing a copy of his book for a cousin. I slip in and close the door. I'm about to ask for something ugly to protect something sacred, I say, and lay the thin stack of proof on the mahogany table. I keep my voice plain, numbers first, timestamps, room numbers, amounts, signatures. The officiant listens like a therapist who's seen The Shape of Panic before. "Are you asking me to stop a ceremony?" he says quietly. "I'm asking you to pause the legal act until we confirm consent and integrity," I answer. She can still have her day. She shouldn't be trapped by paperwork forged in her name. We bring in the venue manager, neutral, arms crossed, eyes precise. If there's a forged authorization tied to our payments, they say, we have to review that before we accept final signatures. That becomes my lever. We draft a simple plan. Before the license signing, the officiant will say we need to verify a billing discrepancy with the venue. The manager will request Maya's presence and mine. Aunt Lila will stand as support. If Cole balks, we introduce the receipts and the QR memo, then ask Maya whether she consents to proceed knowing these facts. I text Maya, "Before license, manager needs 2 minutes venue billing." Normal. She sends a thumbs up and a heart, relief emoji level, not panic. The heart burns. I hate that I've trained myself to read her reactions in icons. I print one physical page, a contact sheet of EXIF screenshots with the motel coordinates circled, the door log time stacked, the 2 Crown and Elm receipts, the forged approval. I do not print Renee's selfie. I don't need a woman's face to be torn apart in whispers to prove a man's pattern. I upload the audio to a duplicate link in case my phone mysteriously dies. The string quartet starts at last, and people open the doors like a tide. The officiant agrees to pause the license, but only once. The ceremony moves like a dream someone else is having. Maya is luminous, veil haloed by late afternoon light, and I am a metronome counting breaths until the legal interlude. After vows and a kiss that makes the grandparents weep, the officiant leads us quietly toward the library where the license waits like a trap or a gate. Cole, radiant for cameras, squeezes my shoulder hard enough to bruise. Teamwork, he whispers. The door closes. The room stills. Before we sign, the officiant says gently, the venue flagged a discrepancy in the bar authorization. The manager steps forward. We have a document in the guest book with the bride's signature authorizing a cash extension, they say. Before we accept payment, we need to confirm that's accurate. Maya blinks. What document? Cole laughs lightly. We handled an overage, no big deal. I set the contact sheet on the table between their hands like a laid-open map. Last night at 12:59 a.m., a voice memo instructed someone to put the signed approval in the book, I say, and tap the QR transcript. At 1:12 a.m., room 214 at Crown and Elm was paid in cash by C. Rowe. At 12:58 a.m., this candid places you under the motel lamp, Cole. At 9:32 p.m., 2 nights ago, the minibar in 214 was restocked under Renee's signature. The handwriting that approved the cash extension copies Maya's, but isn't hers. I brief. If we sign now, Maya inherits liability for an off-ledger cash payment, and I let the space fill with implication. Cole's mask slips, then reattaches like elastic. You're unwell, he says to me softly, pitying. You've always been dramatic. He turns to Maya. Babe, it's a prank, a misunderstanding. Renee dropped off a shawl. Jess is threatened. Maya studies the receipts like they're constellations she recognizes. Her hands shake. Aunt Lila speaks in the tone you use to call a child in from the dark. Maya, you can pause. You can step back with dignity. The manager adds, neutral. We cannot accept a forged approval. We can proceed with ceremony memories, then resolve billing tomorrow. Cole's jaw tightens. We're signing today, he says. Maya lifts her veil and asks me, clear as glass, now? Now, I say, and the room tilts into the kind of silence that has gravity. Maya steadies the paper with one hand. Did you sleep at Crown and Elm last night? She asks Cole, voice small but surgical. He laughs first, always his reflex. I swung by to handle logistics, he says. With Renee? She asks. He blinks once too long. She brought the shawl. The offendant's pen hovers. The manager clears their throat. Aunt Lila moves closer without touching. I'm pausing, Maya says, and hands the pen back like it burns. We'll not sign today. Cole's smile craters. He turns on me. You wrecking ball parasite, he says, polite loud. You've always hated that she grew up. I keep my eyes on Maya. I love you. I say, I will not let you sign a debt line you didn't write. Cole pivots to the audience growing at the door as whispers leak. She's jealous, he announces. Ask anyone. And the anyone, cousins with wine, a groomsman with a podcast voice, murmurs like a jury rehearsing a verdict. Outside, the quartet vamped awkwardly into pop covers while the coordinator improvised a photo set to buy time. Renee materializes in the hall, sees the paper, and goes pale in a way that isn't guilt, it's calculation. Don't let her make you a spectacle, Maya, she says. Let's just sign. The manager steps between. We're honoring the pause, they say, and something in their tone suggests insurance claims and attorneys. Within 20 minutes, the event divides like an amoeba. Some guests drift to the bar insisting it's all a misunderstanding. Others sit with Maya on the porch and tell stories of her courage as a child. Cole attempts a speech over clinking glass that a mic conveniently fails to transmit. My phone buzzes itself to heat. Group chats mutating, an aunt texting proud of you. A distant friend asking what happened. I duck into a side room and retch neatly into a trash can, then wash my face. A man I don't know enters the library holding a trifold envelope and a practiced frown. He asks for Cole by full name and middle initial. A process server steps forward, and Cole finally stops smiling entirely. By evening, the day is both wreckage and rescue. Maya sits barefoot with her bouquet in her lap, like a crown she chose to put down. The officiant brings tea. The manager quietly comps the extra hour of venue time, as if to honor the clean wound. Cole is escorted to retrieve his things under supervision. He mutters about lawyers. Renee is suddenly busy comforting strangers who don't need comforting. I am a lightning rod people touch to feel alive. I answer none of it. After the last obligatory photo, Maya and I walk to the oak behind the ceremony arch, where we carved our initials high enough to make 16-year-old us feel tall. I hate that I let it get this far, she says. I hate that I didn't see. I tell her the truth. It's not blindness to believe the person you love wants your good. She inhales ragged. I want structure, she admits. I don't want supervision. We draft boundaries on my notes app like they're a treaty. No shared accounts until 6 months of therapy. Full financial transparency for any future partner. No hidden approvals. Anyone who asks me to keep secrets from you is out. If she speaks to Cole again, it will be in a therapist's office. If he tries to rewrite the story in public, we release receipts, not emotions. Aunt Lila joins us with contracts. Simple language will send if needed. An agreement for return of gifts, a promise to cover vendor balances without personal entanglement, a line that says, no contact without counsel. I watch Maya read, shoulders lowering with each sentence as if the paper siphons poison. You'll lose people over this, Aunt Lila says softly. Better to lose the ones who'll sell you for a story. At midnight, the remaining friends stack chairs, and the city air cools our faces like mercy. We eat cake from paper plates in the silent ballroom and draft a text to guests that tells the truth without feeding fire. Maya signs the conditions page, hand steady, eyes dry for once. In the weeks after, the internet has opinions like weather. Some call me a hero, some call me a saboteur, most move on. Maya keeps her therapist appointments like sacrament, and I return the guest book to her wrapped in brown paper with the hidden sleeve resewn shut, a relic restored so it can be hers again. We take the receipts and door logs and EXIF printouts and seal them in a manila folder labeled for future Jesses, because the next person who needs them should not have to improvise their way toward daylight. Cole tries a narrative about miscommunications that collapses when the process server's paperwork becomes public record. Renee vanishes from our orbit like a satellite dipped below the horizon. The venue sends a polite letter confirming the forged approval is void and that future events will require digital verification. I hope some other stranger's wedding is safer because we bled a little here. I think often about loyalty and its shadow. It isn't silence. It isn't performing calm while someone writes your name on a debt you don't owe. Loyalty is standing in front of the bulldozer with a clipboard and a plan. It's telling the truth kindly and completely. It's accepting that sometimes the bridge you torch is the only thing keeping the wolves out. If you're reading this because you're holding a sticky note that doesn't belong in a book or a photo that doesn't match the timeline, here's my practical list. Screenshot everything. Verify timestamps. Find a neutral witness. Choose the right place over the loudest place. Don't confuse mercy with enabling. Write conditions, not poems, when you're tired. Maya and I planned a rosemary bush outside her new apartment because it means remembrance and tastes good with potatoes, and it survives almost anything if you water it enough. We intend to survive beautifully.